Hello, I'm Host Speaker, a digital marketing associate with SmartThoughts, the software advisement firm for associations and nonprofits. Today, we're diving into a big one, Nimble AMS versus Fonteva. Now, these are two absolute heavyweights in the association management software world, and on the surface, they seem pretty similar because they're both built on the amazing Salesforce platform. But as you're about to see, that's where the similarities end. So you might be thinking, okay, they're both on Salesforce. How different can they really be? And you know what? That is the perfect question to ask. Because while they share that incredible Salesforce engine, the way they're built, their whole philosophy, and what they demand from your organization, well, they are worlds apart. Let's break it down. Okay, so both platforms are tapping into Salesforce, the #1 CRM on the planet. That's a huge plus right out of the gate. But how they use that power? Well, that's where the story gets really interesting. Think of it this way. One gives you a beautifully polished dashboard that does most of the work for you, while the other hands you the keys to the entire engine and says, go build whatever you want. So let's look at the players. First up, you've got Nimble AMS. Their whole game is about making that enterprise-level tech feel more accessible, more like a finished product. Then you have Fonteva. Now these guys are Salesforce purists. They're all about giving you the raw, untamed power of the platform to tackle those really gnarly membership and event problems. So right away you can see two very different philosophies, leading to two very different experiences. All right, let's get into the good stuff. We're going to compare their unique strengths. And let me be clear, this isn't about declaring a winner. It's about figuring out which one of these powerful tools is the right tool for your specific job. So what makes Nimble AMS stand out? Well, for starters, their commitment to continuous innovation is kind of wild. For more than a decade, they've pushed out 3 free automatic upgrades a year. Think about that. You're always on the newest version without having to lift a finger. They've also got some really smart AI built right in that can actually spot members who might be about to leave so you can step in first. And for training, they plug you right into Salesforce's own system, Trailhead, which is just a fantastic learning resource for your team.
Okay, now let's flip over to Fonteva. And the big word here is flexibility. It's built to scale from mid-size associations all the way up to massive enterprise ones. Because it's so close to native Salesforce, you can customize almost anything. If you have a super unique way of doing things, Fonteva can probably handle it. It also opens the door to the entire Salesforce App Exchange, with thousands of pre-built integrations. And here's a really crucial point. Your data isn't locked away in some proprietary format. It lives right in Salesforce, which makes it way easier to get your data out if you ever decide to leave. That's a huge deal.
And don't just take my word for it. Listen to what this reviewer on G2 had to say. They're talking about pulling data from all over the place. Attendees with specific certifications who came to the last 2 conferences. I mean, the possibilities are endless. That right there, that's the promise of Fonteva's power. It lets you ask these incredibly detailed questions of your data and actually get the answers. But you know the saying, with great power comes, well, complexity. And we need to talk about the trade-offs. Now, these aren't deal breakers or flaws, not at all. Think of them as the other side of the coin. They're just strategic choices you have to weigh against what your team can actually handle. This gets us to a core concept we call the platform trade-off. And it's really simple. The more a platform can do, the more it asks of you. It's going to demand more technical know-how, more time to set up, and a real commitment from your team to learn it inside and out. It's just a fundamental truth of any powerful business software. So what does this look like in practice? Well, with Nimble AMS, even with its user-friendly design, your team still needs to get comfortable with some core Salesforce ideas to really make it sing. On the Fonteva side, that amazing flexibility comes at a price. Users are really clear on this. Having a dedicated IT person on staff is a must. It is not a plug-and-play system. The setup can be steep, and some folks have noted that the way it handles financials can get pretty complex. And this Capterra review really hits the nail on the head. With ample possibility comes ample headache. Wow. That just perfectly captures the trade-off, right? All that power can become a nightmare for your team if you're not equipped to handle it. It's a really important reminder to be honest about your own team's technical skills. Okay, so we've looked at the good and the complicated. Now it's time to turn the spotlight on you. Because the right choice here has nothing to do with which platform is best and everything to do with your association's unique reality. First question you have to ask, how complicated is your membership really? Are we talking straightforward individual members, or are you juggling complex company memberships with different tiers, special pricing, and rules that have to flow down from the parent to all the little branches? Next up, chapters.
Are you one big, happy family under one roof? Or are you more like a federation with regional chapters that need their own space to operate but still have to report back to the main office? This is a huge one, and getting it wrong can be a disaster.
Let's talk events. What's your reality? Simple webinars? Or are you putting on huge multi-day conferences with international attendees, a dozen pricing levels, exhibitors, speakers, the whole shebang? The complexity of your events is a massive factor here.
And last but not least, what other software do you rely on? Your learning management system, your accounting software, that advocacy tool you absolutely cannot live without, how well your new AMS needs to play with others can absolutely be the final tiebreaker.
So if you can answer those questions honestly, you're already way ahead of the game. But that's just the first step. Navigating all the little details between now and a successful launch, that's where things can get tricky. Look, here at SmartThoughts, we've walked more than 200 associations through this exact decision. And I can tell you, we see the same pitfalls trip people up time and time again. It's almost always the same couple of mistakes. So what are they? First, people almost always underestimate the total cost. They see the license fee but forget about implementation, training, and ongoing support. And second, and this one is maybe even more critical, they pick a platform that just doesn't fit their team's culture. They buy a race car when their team is only trained to drive a family sedan.
So, what's the next step for you? Simple. First, get brutally honest about your real complexity. Don't just look at a feature list. Map out how you actually work. Second, before you make a move, get an expert to look over your shoulder and help you avoid those common, costly missteps. If you'd like our help with that, please visit us at smartthoughts.net. You can book a free consultation, and we can talk specifically about your budget, your team, and your goals to make sure you end up with the right platform. Thanks so much for your time.